So go ahead and find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you today. Preferably you're seated up on a bit of height. And again, it's any seated position that feels good to you. So if you're in a chair, if that's what feels right to you today, then you're in a chair and that's just where you are. And that's fine. You might not be seated cross-legged like I am. You might be seated in a kneeling position, or maybe you need to have the legs extended, or any number of things. And I want you to feel really confident in your decisions, whatever they are. Make sure it feels good to you. If you need to sit cross-legged with blocks underneath your knees, right? We haven't done that in a while, but sometimes sitting cross-legged, if the knees aren't on the floor, it's very uncomfortable. So you can tuck blocks underneath your knees, and all of a sudden it becomes a more accessible pose. So anything you need to feel comfortable. And then, as we always do, heels of the hands into the upper thighs, right? Annie was just saying on Tuesday how we have to have some constants in our yoga practices so that we can see how we are from day to day. And one of my favorites, especially Judy with the tight low back, is this pressing into the thigh bones, getting that little bit of leverage, feeling into the hips, the low back, and then let's take it side to side. So pressing into one thigh, leaning away, turning to look over that shoulder, really wring it out. And then back through center over to the other side. Again, really pressing, really lengthening. And then if it feels good, you can go back and forth a few times. Gathering information. How is it today to be in this body? How is it feeling now? And then a neutral spine here in the center, running the heels of the hands from the hips towards the knees. Maybe you are getting the lint off your pants as well as elongating the quadricep muscles. Mhm. And then hands to the side ribs. So when we're feeling bogged down by things, even a simple physical picking up of the body, right? We're lifting ourselves up out of that bog, right? So you're lifting the rib cage up out of the bowl of the pelvis. Really see, could you wiggle it out like a cork out of a bottle? And then turning any amount from side to side, just seeing what's available. Mm, nice. And then back to neutral. Let's inhale the arms up in a wide V. I like this especially when I'm feeling glum, right? Lifting the chest, arms moving towards the space behind you. Drop the tailbone. Maybe you lift the chin. Nice, deep, full breaths here. Take another one. Nice, big inhale. Reach through all 10 fingernails. And then exhale, hands float to the lap. We're bringing our chin parallel to the floor, maybe a little lower, eyes closed if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. We're going inside. Noticing how are we? Right? I asked the question in the beginning of class before we get started, but we ask it again now. We've done a little bit, tiny bit, a little housekeeping, so to speak. And now we ask the question again, how are we? And maybe there's no answer that feels clear. Maybe it's just I don't know, a series of feelings or emotions that don't have names, right? As humans, we're always trying to name things, but sometimes our sensations don't have, definite correlations to words. We try to make them, but it doesn't always work. That's why it's fun to study other languages. Sometimes they've come up with words for emotions and feelings that English doesn't cover. So find your way into your physical body now. Concern yourself with the structure. Right side, left side. Are you evenly balanced? Do you need to do any little adjustments front to back, side to side? Shoulder blades moving down the back, navel moving back, tailbone heavy. Right? Tailbone neither swinging forward nor back, just straight down, like a plumb line attached to the very tip of the coccyx. And then from there, we lift through the base of the skull. So noticing how long can we get the spinal column today? How much length, how much space can we develop? And then can you let the arm bones hang so heavy from the shoulder sockets, right? You feel some spaciousness perhaps in the shoulder capsule. And is the sternum lifted? Is there spaciousness there? And soften the throat. Relax the jaw, the teeth, the tongue. Spread the cheekbones, relax the nose, relax the bridge of the nose. Soften the eyes in their sockets, relax the space between the eyebrows, spread the eyebrows apart. Then smooth out the skin of the forehead, relax the skin at the temples, soften the inner ears. And then notice that you're breathing. That breath, that next breath is a gift, right? Each one we take, don't take it for granted. Feel the physical sensation of the inhalation. Feel the physical sensation of the exhalation. Can you challenge yourself to be present with the full cycle of breath? You can practice for a lifetime and still have this feel new. Nice. From here, let's take the hands together in front of the heart, palm against palm, fingers elongated, lift the sternum to the base of the thumbs, broaden the collarbones. We're preparing for sound. Let's chant the sound of Om 3 times and then our invocation. Go ahead, exhale, let go of all the breath you have. Then inhale fully. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let the chin come towards the chest, let the hands float to the lap. Take a pause, look inside. What do you need from your practice this morning? What do you need, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's more self-compassion. Maybe it's to work a little harder. Maybe you need to really move the body today. Maybe you just need the curiosity to see what unfolds. There's no wrong answer, even if no answer happened. Gorgeous. On your next inhale, start to flutter the eyelids open, taking in form and space and color. And then as you lift the gaze, let's look wide first. If you have a window you can look out of, look out your window, look at the natural world. Perhaps you can see the trees changing color. It's been pretty stunning up here, I'm not gonna lie. Nice. And then coming back to neutral, let's unpack the legs. If the legs have been crossed, especially ironing them out, root to shoot, get in contact. Really, very much like pushing toothpaste through a tube. As we get into the colder seasons, right? We're headed into Vata season. Well, we're already kind of full in the thrust of it, but we start to need to really be interested in our circulation. And one of the things we can do is that self massage. So running the hands, it's so simple from the hips towards the ankle with a little bit of energy behind it. So really thinking of pushing that energy from the torso down the legs towards the feet can really help, especially if you've got cold feet and hands in the winter, and I know several of you do. All right, let's work with the feet, taking the hands behind beside, lift and spread the collarbones. Let's point and flex the feet, point and flex the feet. Articulating through the feet. Yep, soften the jaw. Nice. Coming to the center of the heel, we invert. So inner edge forward, outer edge forward. Then back to neutral. Squeeze and release the toes. Squeeze and release. Oh, feels good today. Take a deep inhale, full exhale. Let's do our toe work. Big toe up, 4 toes down. Big toe forward, 4 toes back. So important, toe intelligence. Don't ever lose it. Even if you stop doing yoga with me, I want you to keep doing your toe work. Then let's alternate. Do one on one side, the other on the other. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Soften the jaw. Go back and forth. Ha. It's a little different every day, right? We're not the same people we were yesterday. Take the legs wide, heels of the hands to the upper thigh bone. Let the legs relax as you rock the legs in and out using the heel of the hand. So we're not using the muscles of the leg. We're just using the leverage of the heel of the hand on the thigh bone. If it's interesting, you can walk the heel of the hand down the thigh bone towards the knee. You might find that there's sensation there, especially if the thighs feel tight. Quadricep muscles are a little cranky. Nice. And then scooping up underneath the knees, bringing the feet to the floor. Now the knees go side to side. Just loosening up the thighs, the hips, the low back. Nice. And then we're going to start out a little old school here. So I'd like us to do the rolled blanket under the chest. We haven't done that in a while. So we're starting with a chest opener. All right. So nice, tight, firm, even rolled blanket. You want to make sure there are no lumps, much like good gravy, no lumps. And then a flat block for the head. Clear your space if you've got this, that, and the other thing kind of set around you. And then we want that very bottom tip of the shoulder blade to go on the blanket. Head goes to a flat block. Make sure the long edges of the block are parallel with the long edges of your mat. That gives you a little bit more space. Oh, we haven't done this in a while. I know. I was just thinking that the other day. It's my favorite pose, and I haven't even done it in a while. But give yourself an opportunity to kind of straighten yourself out. And that might be that you need to pick up and replace things. It might need that you need to rock a little side to side like I'm doing. There's no wrong answer. Remember that. You want to get the blanket in the spot where it feels like the sweet spot. And sometimes for some bodies, that's not the most comfortable spot. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it feels a little cranky and you just have to kind of live with it. And then when you feel ready, the arms go out in a T shape. And if everything's gone according to plan, the blanket is underneath your armpit, right? So when you extend the arms out in a T shape, that blanket's right there. The chin moves slightly towards the chest. You can even use one hand to help lift your head and address the neck. And then if your low back is okay with it, you can absolutely extend the legs. But if the low back is feeling cranky, you keep the knees bent, turn the toes towards each other, and let the knees fall into each other. Otherwise, you extend the legs onto the earth and let the feet fall away from each other. Everyone's keeping the chin moving towards the chest. So we're not lifting the chin towards the sky. And then it can feel really useful, especially if the neck and shoulders have been feeling tight, to take the head from side to side, from left to right. Nice. And then taking the head back to neutral. Now, if your legs are extended, you're reaching through the inner heels. So the feet will flex gently. Don't overdo. Don't be aggressive. And then roll the big toes towards each other. Another way to think about that would be to roll the inner thighs towards the earth. No matter where you are, everyone turns the lower frontal rib cage down, right? Because if you're like most people, the lower frontal ribs are pushing straight up towards the sky. But I want you to tame those lower frontal ribs down. I want you to draw the pubic bone towards the belly button. Then you're welcome to stay here or lift the arms up towards the sky. Take opposite hand to opposite forearm like I Dream of Jeannie, and then either take the forearms clear over the crown of the head to rest on that block, or if that feels uncomfortable, like it's too far for your arms today, then you rest your arms on your forehead. Either way, we're exposing the chest, the lung tissue. We're getting this opportunity to really breathe into the upper lobes of the lungs, getting this oxygenation of the body, right? So give yourself the opportunity, maybe taking the fullest, deepest breaths here. Notice if your chin lifted when you took the arms overhead. It happens to most people, but make sure you correct for it. Notice any tension in the jaw or the eyes. See if you could release. Nice full inhalations, complete exhalations. Gorgeous. Okay, from here, I want you to make a mental note which forearm is on top. On your next inhalation, reach the arms behind you. Palms of the hands are spreading, facing each other. Reach, reach, reach. You're like a telescope. And then on your next exhalation, you refold the arms, opposite forearm on top. This might require a different position. You might need to use the forehead for this side, or maybe both sides used it. It doesn't matter either way. You're just assessing. We don't want pain in the shoulders. And if you're getting that, you need to do something different, right? Don't suffer. Lower frontal ribs are rolling down, pubic bone to belly button. Inner thighs are heavy, chin towards the chest. And then maybe you're doing well here. You're taking the fullest, deepest breaths you can. Really utilizing this position. Another 2-3 breaths here. Getting the opportunity for the shape to make an impression. Then on the exhalation, release the arms out and down to the sides. Backs of the arms are resting. Everyone bends the knees now. Feet go as wide as the yoga mat. And this is an opportunity for a bit of massage along the spine. So knees and head can go in opposition. That's kind of the baseline. It's where you start. But then there are all sorts of little things that you can do to make this more useful for you. And so that might mean you're going up and down on the blanket, right? Kind of pushing and pulling yourself so the blanket gets into different sections of the upper back. It might be that you're lingering on one side or the other, just allowing the body to exist in that twisted state. Might even be that you're pressing down into the feet and lifting the hips a little bit to get more pressure in the upper back. Right? Just depends on what's feeling good. It might be some collection of actions that I haven't described or something else that's feeling good. But really give yourself the opportunity here to work out any crankiness that might have developed overnight while you were sleeping. Nice. How is it in the jaw and the throat? Relax, relax. And then as you feel ready, rolling all the way to one side, use the hands to help yourself up, help yourself out. We are going to come back down onto the floor. I'd like you to have a blanket for underneath your head and keep your block nearby. We're going to work through some Tailor's pose variations to help stretch out the hips and help to maybe do a little rehab on the low back there. So come back and down, head and neck are supported, knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Arms can be a comfortable distance to the side. And this is another great opportunity to take the head from side to side. I think even if your neck and shoulders don't feel tight, it's nice to get that mobility going in the upper back, shoulders and neck. Nice, deep inhale, full exhale. You know the drill, right? You guys are experts. Coming back to neutral now. On an exhalation, we're going to invite that right knee into the chest. And now here's the deal. If your knee is cranky, I want you to fold your hands between the thigh and the calf. If your knee is fine, then you can interlace your hands over the shin. And then as you exhale, I want you to relax that knee towards the chest and then let it drift off to the right any amount. So I'm holding on with both hands. My left arm is getting dragged across my body. And if it feels good to me, I can turn my head to the left. You might have even relaxed that right knee so much that your right elbow ends up on the floor. It's a fine place to be. If it doesn't touch the floor, don't worry. You're not defective in some way. Not everybody has the super long monkey arms. Nice. Take another breath here. And on your next exhalation, come back to neutral. We're just going to prepare for Tailor's pose. So my left arm's going down to the floor. My right hand's taking hold of the bent right knee, and we're just steering the knee around in a circle. A few times in one direction, a few times in the other. Just loosening up the hip socket so that when we take our Tailor's pose here in a second, there's no crankiness. And if you do get into Tailor's pose and there's any cramping in the outer hip or the glute, you can always come back to this little circular action with the knee. All right, when you feel ready, outer right ankle on top of the left thigh towards the left knee. I'm lightly flexing that right foot. Then on an exhale, I gather the knees towards me. I'm actually taking hold behind the back of my left thigh. But here's a caveat. If you interlace your hands behind the left thigh and all of a sudden your head, neck, and shoulders want to come off the mat, that would mean you should take a strap between your hands to give yourself a little bit more length. Now remember, the right hand weaves into the hole that the right knee is making. So my arms aren't around the right leg, they're through and between the legs. There you go. Then from here, my left knee is relaxed. My left heel is hanging towards my glute muscles. Everyone's going to try and square their hips to the end of the mat, which means your outer right hip needs to move away from the outer right rib cage a bit. Chin's moving towards the chest. Shoulder blades are heavy. Tailbone is long. The pelvis is heavy. So I could take the legs super close to me if I peel the back of my pelvis off the floor, but that's not what we're doing. And then I hesitate to call this next part an action. I really want you to move slowly here as you start to shift the legs a little side to side. And what you're looking for is sensation, most likely in the right hip. And most likely when you take the legs to the left. Now, that's not to say that you won't feel things going in the other direction. Many people do. but you're just investigating how it feels going from side to side. Nice. All right, coming back to neutral. Listen carefully. This next part's optional. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I'm going to extend my left leg up towards the sky. For now, I am still holding on to the back of my left thigh. Shoulder blades are moving down the back. On an exhale, I'm going to curl my upper torso away from the floor. So I'm doing a little bit of a sit-up, right? I'm curling. It's a little bit of like a crunch. My navel's down and back. And then I'm going to lengthen my arms forward. So I'm letting go of the back of my leg and lengthening my arms forward. I've still got my right ankle pressing into the top of my left thigh pressing into the top of my left ankle or right ankle. Navel back, shoulder blades down, reach, reach, reach. Nice. And then from here, if you're protecting the low back, you're probably just going to stay where you are. Others, you want a little bit of more challenge. You're going to see, could you press your left foot up towards the sky, right? It's a little reverse crunch. It's like you're trying to pick your hips up off the floor. You're just seeing, could you get that left foot up? Nice. One more time. And then exhale, release everything back to the ground. Feet are down, arms are down, head is down. Let's go ahead and take the knees and the head in opposition, just relaxing, right? That little reverse crunch is so challenging. Even if you just got your hips a little lighter on the floor, you're still building strength and stability in the low back and the abdomen. Gorgeous. One more time, either side. And then let's do all of that to the second side. So we come back to neutral, right foot stays on the floor, left knee comes towards the chest. You're either holding on over the shin or folding the hands between the thigh and the calf. Shoulder blades are relaxed. Let everything go. Take a deep breath. Now as you exhale, you're going to relax the left knee towards you and then off to the left. Taking the right arm across the body. If you want to turn the head to the right, can feel so nice to do. Make sure that right shoulder isn't pushing up towards the chin. Instead, it's moving away. Couple of deep, full breaths here, letting go of any tension through the abdomen, inner thigh. And then coming back up to neutral. So right arm goes to the floor, left hand takes hold of the bent left knee, and we steer the knee around in a circle. A few times in one direction, a few times in the other. Really letting everything be soft. So this is a massage for the low back, especially if it's been feeling tight. It's a nice way to get in there. We did our massage for the upper body. Here we are again. Nice. And then outer ankle, top of that right thigh. Headed to Tailor's pose. So drawing the knees towards us, interlacing the hands or using a strap behind the back of the right thigh. Shoulder blades are heavy, head is heavy, neck is long, chin moving towards the chest. Both feet lightly flexed, so not being aggressive. Keeping the tailbone long, most of us need to move the outer left hip away from the left rib cage to square the hips to the wall in front of us. And then we're back with that sense of curiosity, shifting the legs a little side to side, noticing where's sensation. You might linger anywhere along that journey. Right? As a matter of fact, that's what I recommend when you find the spot where it's like, oh, there's tightness or there's sensation. You hang out, you stay. You breathe into it. You see if it changes, shifts, develops. Maybe you have to back out and go in again. There's no wrong way to go about it as long as you're finding sensation that feels useful, right? That's what we're always looking for. All right, now we're coming back to neutral, and here's the optional part. If you don't want to go for the core work, you don't have to. You might just stay here, even just bring your feet to the earth. Others, you're extending that right leg straight up towards the sky. Shoulder blades are down the back, navel to spine. Then as you exhale, you're going to peel the upper torso away from the floor as high as you can. If you can get the shoulder blades off the floor, that's fantastic. If not, don't worry, you're working towards that. And then we're extending the arms forward, right? It's Halloween season. These are zombie arms. Arg, arg. And then you're welcome to stay here, or you can try to stomp that right foot onto the sky, right? So I do a little exhale, and it's what it is. It's really just a strong pulling of pubic bone to belly button, right? It's that little pulling and then lifting. You're just seeing what's possible. Your little exhale, right? That helps you get up. Just seeing what you can do. Let's do two more just because we can. Last one. And then exhale. Everything comes back down to the earth. Feet are as wide as the yoga mat. Arms are in a T shape. Let's take the knees and the head in opposition. Go slow. Take your time. Unwind. If you want to linger, linger. Nice. All right, now we need our block, and we also need to take the blanket out from underneath our head because we're going to elevate the hips. We don't want to have both the head and the hips elevated. It's one or the other. So head is on the ground now, no blanket underneath. We're pressing the feet down, lifting the hips, and putting that flat block horizontal across the back of the pelvis. So the long edge of the block is parallel with the short edge of the mat. Your whole sacrum is there, and it should feel good, especially after that little bit of reverse crunching. This helps to elongate the long back, the low back. Beautiful. Nose is pointed up towards the sky. Back of the neck is long. You're welcome to hold on to the sides of the mat here and pull the mat in the direction of the feet. That can help give you a little more stability in the upper back. Then from here, we're bringing our legs to a tabletop position, which means that the knees are bent at 90 degrees and the shins are more or less parallel to the floor. We're going to start with the toes pointed. We're going to move from the hip, not the knee. So it's very tempting when I tell you to take your foot to the floor to bend the knee and bring it straight down. Instead, I want you to keep this 90-degree bend in the knee and go from the hip. So we're taking the toes to the floor one set at a time, moving from the hip socket, keeping that 90-degree bend in the knee. Navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button, and I don't want you to bring the thighs any closer than right above the hip. So if it's helpful to take your hands there to keep yourself honest, you do it. Rolling the outer upper arms down towards the floor. Back of the neck is long. Navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button. I know I'm a broken record. Now, if this feels easy, then I want you to flex your feet and take your heel bone to the earth. Again, still keeping that 90-degree bend of the knee. We're not moving the knee joint. We're only moving the hip joint. Right? When we do the heels as opposed to the toes, it's a longer journey. Nice. Keep the navel moving back, back, back. We don't want to comb the belly towards the sky. That's often what happens is we push the belly forward, right? We want to keep the belly moving back. And sometimes I find it helpful to put a hand on my belly so that I can feel what's happening. Now, if it's still feeling easy, then you would go both legs together with the toes pointed, right? So two legs is one. I like to exhale as I bring the legs down and inhale as I bring them back up. And I'm not landing on the floor, I'm just barely touching. And so you're either going one leg at a time, flexed or pointed, or two legs at a time. And then you can always make the 2 legs at a time a little harder by going with the heel bone rather than the toes. Keep breathing, navel back, tailbone long, soften the jaw. Let's do 2 more either way, either 1 leg at a time or 2 both legs together. And then exhale to rest, draw the knees towards the chest. So you're not bringing the feet to the floor. Bring the knees towards the chest, take the head a little left and right. It's a micro movement. Gorgeous. Now you're welcome to stay with the bent leg variation, but anyone who wants to go for it, we're going for straight legs. So now the legs are up towards the sky. Just for giggles, let's circle the ankles. Why not? The only action we kind of haven't done with the feet yet. Going one direction, then the other. Nice big inhale, full exhale. Beautiful. And then reaching through both heel bones. So the legs are nice and straight. Outer upper arms rolling down. You can still hold on to the sides of the mat if you want. We're going to go 1 leg at a time. So you're going to inhale, lengthen that right leg. Exhale, lower it to hip height. So now it's parallel to the floor. Inhale here. Then exhale, navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button. That's what brings it back up. Second side, inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, lower it to parallel. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it back up. So you're going back and forth, moving only on the exhale if you can. Try not to use momentum, right? That's why we're pausing. It's like we're walking in space. And then just as we did with bent knees, if it's feeling easy, you could do both legs together as 1 leg. If you're doing that, I like to take the legs to touch. It seems to make it easier. And then again, you're only moving on the exhale. So you'd inhale to lengthen both legs. Exhale to lower them towards parallel to the floor, navel back, don't cone it out. Inhale here, and then exhale to lift them back up towards the sky. So going back and forth, either 1 leg at a time or 2 legs together as 1 leg. Moving only on the exhalation. So keeping that navel moving back. Just a few more. You stay with it. You're doing so beautifully. One more either with each leg or 2 more both legs together. And then when you're complete, bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor, press the feet down, lift the hips, take the block out, and then slowly, slowly roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Once the pelvis lands, let's draw both knees into the chest. Ah, there it is. A little rocking from side to side. Feels so useful right now. Spreading the back body. And then rolling all the way to one side, let's go ahead and come to our table pose just to stretch out those abdominal muscles really quickly here, planting the hands well, knees under hips. When you get here, it's cat and cow. So inhaling, lifting the tail, dropping the belly, lifting the chest and the gaze. Nice. Exhaling, navel to spine. Go back and forth a few times at your breath pace, whatever that means for you today. Giving yourself an opportunity to work through all those actions of the spine. Taking your time with it. Right? It's all about sensation. How does it feel to you? And then let's take it side to side while we're here. So lengthening the tailbone, the crown of the head. Inhaling here, exhaling, wagging the tail to the right, turn to look over the right shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale, second side. Back and forth, you've got it. Gorgeous. Then coming back to neutral, we're setting up for Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog alternative. Planting the hands well, index fingers are parallel. Really spread the fingers, friends. Really spread the fingers. I want there to be a little slice of pie between each set of fingers. And then tucking the toes under, push the floor away, lift up and back. We haven't done a ton to stretch out the legs today, so take an opportunity here. Perhaps you're pedaling the feet out slowly, right? I always think of the big machines at the candy shop in Rockport, Massachusetts, where they're making the saltwater taffy. Those big hooks pull the taffy from side to side. And that's you now, pulling your legs down one at a time, really stretching those muscles, stretching those legs out, getting that opportunity to really reach. And this works even if you're doing an alternative pose. You can go a little back and forth and get that same kind of, I think of it as gooiness. Nice. And then wherever you are, you're going to lift the heels up, bend the knees, and then drag the tailbone diagonally away from the crown of the hat. And then stretch the heels back and down, 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 down. Beautiful length. Pressing the full circumference of the palm of the hand, inner elbows rolling towards the front of the room. Nice. And then we're headed to Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Walking the feet in. Walking the feet in. Big toe ball mount, outer heel. Soften the knees just a smidge and see if you can drape the torso towards the earth. Letting go of the weight of the head. Maybe you shake the head a little yes, a little no. And then hook your thumbs into your hips. Draw the hips back to lengthen the spine. Nice. Get all that length heavy in the heels. Inhale and come to standing. Any dizziness on arrival, you know the drill. Take your hands to your knees, hang out halfway. Otherwise, come up all the way and do yourself a favor. Roll the shoulders, big generous rolls. Let the elbows get into it. Forward, up, back, and down. Be really elaborate. Be very dramatic. This is your time. Nice. Let's interlace the hands behind us. Draw the knuckles down towards the floor. I'm hugging my shoulder blades towards each other, lifting the sternum, lifting the chin. Really stretching the front of the throat. Any amount, move the arms away from the back body. Nice. And then exhale, release, shake the hands out. So we're going to do a little bit of a balance sequence that involves our Tailor's pose. I've got blocks in front of me, but I'm going to show you from the front first so that you can see. Okay? Okay. All right. So come to stand in Tadasana. You're facing your blocks. Okay? You're facing your blocks, but I'm just showing you. Okay. Hands to the hips. You're going to soften your knees. You're going to start to peel that left foot off the floor, turn the left knee out to the side, and then you're putting your left ankle on top of your right thigh, right above your right knee, just where we were when we were in Tailor's pose, right? So we're in standing Tailor's pose. If you need to use your hand to help it get up there, that's fine. Now I have bent my right knee generously, so I've made a little shelf. Hands around the hips for now. Beautiful. Lengthen the heart away from the belly button. Shoulder blades are moving towards each other. Nice. And then we're going to start to take a forward bend. That's where the blocks come in handy. So some of you I know can take it all the way to the floor. Others, it's like, nope, I need a block. Or maybe you even need a chair. Beautiful. My right knee is still well bent. just hanging out in this halfway space where my spine is parallel to the floor. My hips are reaching back. My hips are squared to the wall in front of me, right? There's a tendency for that left hip to try and scoot around. Don't let it happen. Now you're just going to see, could you start to straighten that right leg and bow down to the floor any amount? Just seeing what happens. It's an experiment, right? That might mean that you need lower blocks. It might mean that your elbows are bending. That's fine. Gorgeous. Then we're coming back up to halfway. Listen carefully. You're going to unhook that left ankle from your right thigh and donkey kick your left leg towards the wall behind you. Ah, we were just here in our core work. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Then take the blocks with you as you bend the right knee and step that left foot back. We're coming to a lunge. I overshot. I'm not on my mat anymore. If that happened to you, just move yourself forward so both feet can be on sticky mat. That front right shin is now perpendicular to the floor. Beautiful. And then we're just going to see what happens. Could you put your right hand on your right knee? Could you put your left hand on your right hand? Could you come all the way up into a full lunge? Back heels reaching back, inner right knees reaching forward, navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button. Then anyone who wants to, we're going to inhale the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, sink down a little bit deeper. And then those that can, inhale, lift the gaze. Nice. On your next exhale, you're sweeping the hands down to your blocks. Again, we're playing around. We're just going to see what happens. Can we go back the way we came? So we're going to step the back foot in a bit, and then we're going to lift that back left leg up to hip height. Nice. And then drawing the knee forward, could we hook that ankle? You might need to use a hand to help. Back onto the thigh. Just being curious, hands might still be on blocks. And then now, could you take the hands to heart center, palm against palm. Inhale here, and then exhale. See if you can stand the torso back up. Release the arms, unhook the foot, put both feet on the ground. Take a little walk around. You okay? Is everyone still talking to me? Who comes up with this stuff? Right? Shake it out if you need to. Relax the shoulders. We've got one more side. You're on your last leg. Okay? So I'm turning around so you can see the active leg. You don't need to. So now it's that left foot that's going to be the standing foot. We soften the knees, right? Shoulder blades down. Hands are on the hips for now. Then we start to pick that right foot off the floor and place that right ankle on top of the left thigh, right above the knee. And if you need to use your hand to get it up there, you do it. That left foot is lightly flexed. Tailbone is heavy, navel back. Beautiful. Reach through the crown of the head. Sorry, that right foot is lightly flexed. The left foot's on the floor. Nice. And then we start to come down into our forward bend. Maybe the hands are on a chair, maybe they're on a block, maybe they're on the floor. Beautiful. Remember, you're just seeing what happens. You don't have to go into anything fully. You're just touching things. So maybe you start to straighten that left leg as you bow down any amount. Maybe you don't. Maybe you stay with that knee bent. It's okay. Take a breath here. Then coming back up halfway, that knee can bend again. You're going to unhook the right ankle from the left knee and donkey kick that right leg back. Now I straighten the left leg too. Gorgeous. Then I'm bending that left knee as I reach with the right foot. I did it again. I'm taller than I think, right? Make sure both feet are on the mat because you know where we're going next. Walk the blocks underneath your shoulders if that's not where they ended up. Remember, that left shin is perpendicular to the floor. The knee is not in front of the ankle. Press through that left heel as you take the left hand to the left knee. Maybe this is where you stay. Others, you can push that hand in the knee to now add the right hand on top of the left hand. Keep reaching back through that right heel. Nice. Lift the torso. Then navel to spine, pubic bone to belly button. Could you inhale the arms up towards the sky? Exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, maybe you lift the gaze. Nice. Then exhale, hands find the blocks. We're going back the way we came. It's not a surprise. So you might need to step the back foot in a little bit, walk the blocks forward, and then you're lifting that back right foot up to hip height. Just reach through the inner heel. Hips are squared to the ground. Then on an exhale, you start to bring that right knee forward. Maybe you need to use the hand to get the right ankle back up onto the left thigh. The left knee is bent. Get your bearings. Take a full breath. Then hands come to heart center, perhaps. Nice. Inhale, get long. Exhale, see if you could stand up out of the pose. Nice. Another inhale here. And then exhale, both feet on the ground. Woo, good job. Take a little walk around, shake it out. We are going to take something symmetrical now, which will feel nice. So Prasarita Padottanasana. It'll feel good to take the legs wide, heel bones lined up with the back long edge of the mat. Let's get a better view going on here. Blocks are underneath the hands, underneath the shoulders. Outer feet are pressing. Inner edge of the foot is lifting up, up, up. Thighs are hugging up onto the thighs, or knees are hugging up onto the thighs. And then we're walking the blocks forward. Walking the blocks forward. Get wide, get big. That was a lot of compaction in those poses. Now we're getting spaciousness. And then walking the blocks back. What do you need for underneath your head? Is it just the floor? Do you need to build up some blocks? Taking something, getting the support you need, head down. Spiraling the inner thighs towards the wall behind you, lifting the shoulder blades away from the back of the neck. Keep pressing the outer feet down, down, down. Keep moving the inner thighs back, back, back. Gorgeous. And then hands underneath the shoulders. We lift ourselves up halfway. If you need the blocks here, please feel free to use them. Then we're heel toeing the feet in until we can gently lower ourselves down. Let's take the second half of our inversion. So you might have used a flat block earlier for our core work. Maybe now you could take 2 flat blocks on top of each other. Challenge yourself a little bit. If that doesn't feel right, if you want to still go kind of more moderately, you could do 2 medium blocks side by each to give yourself that stability. And then coming back down onto your back body, nothing underneath the head. We're going to press the feet down, lift the hips, and take your block or blocks underneath your pelvis. Outer upper arms are rolling down, shoulder blades moving towards each other. And then exhale, knees towards the chest. Inhale, feet towards the sky. We're trying to keep the chest domed. We're not moving here. Ankles over knees, over hips. Back of the neck is nice and long. Breathing here, contemplating our feet perhaps. Softening the eyes in their sockets. Breath filling the body. So we're coming down, right? We had our little adventure. Now we're returning. Another 30 seconds here. Nice. And then exhaling, simultaneously bending the knees, simultaneously bringing the feet to the earth. Once the feet land, let's press them down, lift the hips, take the blocks out from underneath, roll down one vertebra at a time. And then go ahead, once again, exhale, knees towards the chest. Once again, rocking a little side to side. And then before Shavasana, we'll take the soles of the feet together, reach through, grab the ankles, little Supta Baddha Konasana. Heels moving towards the pelvis, knees opening wide. Nice. Exhaling, feet come to the floor. Just a little side to side, releasing anything. If there's any last little actions your body needs before Shavasana, go ahead and take it. Bundle up if you need to. If you want, flat blocks underneath the backs of the thighs. If you can find your blanket, put it underneath your head. Mine's a little further away, but I'm gonna take the effort to get it anyway. So head and neck are supported. Perhaps the backs of the thighs are supported. And then let's open the mouths wide. Open the mouths wide, sticking the tongue out. Stick the tongue out as far as you can. Stretch the jaw, stretch the throat, stretch the tongue. And then draw the tongue back into the mouth. Let just the lips come back to touch. And then let go yourself completely. Let loose yourself completely. Let yourself rest here in stillness and silence, knowing now there's nothing to do. Now, I know some of you are time bound. If you're not time bound and you can stay in Shavasana for a little bit longer, I would highly recommend it, but it is the dawning of the 8:30 hour. So those of you that are time bound, I want you to deepen your breath. Be slow. Don't just jump out of the Shavasana pose, but give yourself an opportunity to reconnect fingers and toes. And then hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a squish. Then roll to your right side. Pause for a moment. Feel the earth. And then use your hands to push yourself back up to a seated position. Again, if you can stay in Shavasana for longer, please do it. Otherwise, you're coming to upright, tailbone heavy, crown of head reaching. Let's take the hands together in front of the heart. Lift the sternum, spread the collarbones, and then on your exhalation, let the chin move forward, let the chin move down. You're bowing to the seat of the soul. You're bowing to that divine inner wellspring of kindness, compassion, patience, and joy. The light in me is deeply honored by your light, grateful for your practice, and humbled by your presence. And in case no one's told you yet today, I love you, and I'm convinced of your capacity to continue crafting a life worth living. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Good job, everyone.